Ideas All Day, a podcast where we, not experts, discuss our ideas and place them into piles, such as the good ideas pile, the bad ideas pile, and the ideas pile. Now let's do some intros. We're going to find out our zombie names today. So, starting with Kate zombie name. Your first letter of your first name is Kate. K, putrid. And Du Bois, putrid scabby. That is your zombie name. Nice.
Yuck.
That's welcome, putrid scabby.
Sounds delightful.
Thanks
So
for
great.
having me. I feel like I'm pussy all over.
And then Alex, your zombie name is Crawley Rank.
Ew.
Crawley Rank.
Wait, no. Hold on. Your name might not be that. Forget that. Kate, your name is not that. I did the puzzle wrong.
Rewind.
Rewind.
What are you doing?
Your name is not Putrid Scabby. Kate, your name is Putrid Scabs.
Oh, so much better. Okay.
Putrid Scabs. Yes. Now we're getting somewhere. Should we start calling you Putrid or Puty?
I feel disgusting right now. Thank you.
And then Alex, you are Crawley Plague. Plague.
Crawley Plague?
Crawley Plague.
That makes sense. If you're a zombie, you're basically a crawling plague. So.
And my name, since it also starts with an A, is Crawley Gutsman.
Ooh.
That actually sounds like a real name.
Sounds like a real nickname.
Like a lawyer.
Yo, Crawley Gutsman. Yo, get over here.
Crawley Gutsman sounds
We need
like
a
a
hole
lawyer.
to dig out.
Crawley Gutsman sounds like a lawyer in the South. I don't know why. Crawley Gutsman, please approach the bench.
Now, I'm just a simple Southern lawyer surviving the zombie apocalypse. But if there's something my mama told me before she got turned,
that you can sue zombies for libel.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's a good idea. We'll put that in the good idea pile right there. Suing the zombies. I love it.
This week we're starting a new series about zombie apocalypse. And this episode specifically dealing with places to go during the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Let me discuss my ideas for
zombie places.
My first idea is when everybody's out losing their minds and they're zombies and the streets are filled with people trying to get to their destinations and trying to go to stores and trying to stock up on stuff. My first idea is to shelter in place. If you have supplies, if you have food, and you're in a relatively safe place, then there's no need for you to go somewhere else just at this moment. Shit's going to be crazy. People are going to panic. People are going to be turning on each other. And then you're going to have zombies on top of it. So if you can just hole up in your house, apartment, bungalow, wherever you are, then I think that would be a great idea. Luckily, where I live, I'm not on the first floor, and I have an exit and an entrance. I have two ways to get in and out of my place. So that's kind of an easy way to barricade myself in. So yeah, stay in place. So for my next idea is once I get out of my stay in place time frame, once I need to start looking for new supplies and find, greener pastures, I'm going to always want to keep moving. This does two things. If I'm always moving, I'm a harder target. If I can jump from place to place to place, I'm not as much of a threat to any individual community that has popped up. At this time, in the early stages of the zombie apocalypse, I'm not going to want to trust anyone because it's still early on. People have already formed alliances. I want to go where I know people have my back. So on the way to get there, I don't want to become a part of any particular person's pack or any particular pod. So I want to keep moving.
How are you gonna do this though? I'm curious. Like, how fast are you gonna like drop pods?
Well, that's the thing. And when I mean pods, I mean like survivors. I'm not even talking about zombies.
But like, are you gonna be like see ya? I mean, like, how are you leaving one pod once you see another pod? Are you gonna be like?
I'm not gonna engage.
I'm trying to understand what you're
in that pod. I don't want to become a part of any survivor group.
Are you just gonna like walk by and be like, I'm not talking to you? Like, I see you living. I see you.
I don't want to come. I don't want to be a threat to their survival group, and that's like one of the main. I mean, zombies are going to be like top priority, but soon right after that is other people surviving.
What about pods of whales?
I don't want to mess with pods of whales. They're much bigger than me,
mm-hmm.
and they could literally swallow me whole. So I don't want to. I don't want to deal with things that can swallow me whole. But when it comes to other survivors, I don't want them to see me as a threat to their resources. So if I try to come into their little niche, their little group, they might invite me in just to basically murder me and steal what I have. I want to stay away from other people until I can get people I can trust. How I'm going to do this brings me to my next idea. If we're dealing with zombies that aren't 28 Days Later and World War Z or the remake of Dawn of the Dead, if we're not dealing with like super fast zombies, super strong zombies, what I'm going to want to do is utilize heights. I'm really kind of into hammock camping. So there's a lot of structures that are already in place that I could use for hammock camping that would be out of reach of zombies. Like those little electrical towers, trees. And then another height that I really, really, really enjoy are roofs. If you can get to a rooftop, there's usually one way to the roof, and then you have exits all around you. So I also happen to have a grappling hook that I own and is a part of my zombie kit.
Sweet.
If I get on a roof...
Hold on, did anyone see where that came from?
What?
Well, you have a grappling hook. Where do you just pull this out of your ass that you've got a grappling hook? Hold on, guys, I forgot to tell you. A Batman.
No, I literally have a grappling hook. I own a grappling. I can go get it. I can show you my.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Why are you shocked?
I'm
about
not
this,
shocked.
Alex?
You're
shocked right now. Get over your
not
feelings
entirely.
and just accept her grappling hook.
I can't get over this grappling hook.
I have in my possession a grappling hook.
We all know you have grappling hooks,
and I also have rock climbing experience, so I know how to rappel from a roof.
Do you though?
I do. So
using your grappling hook?
Yes.
Can we see this?
The actual grappling hook?
Yeah, and you using it to rappel off a roof.
I mean, if I really wanted to, I could.
I want to learn.
So I'm in possession of a grappling hook. If I can get to a roof, then I have one way onto the roof. So that gives me one way to block zombies from attacking me. And if somehow zombies do get through that barricade, I have several sides to escape because I am in possession of a grappling hook. So I can rappel down from the roof. Also on roofs, if you're going to spend some time on a roof and you have access to a bucket or two and it rains, you have fresh rainwater. It's an easy way to get water.
You can use your grappling hook to get the fish for the bucket from the roof because probably the bucket's in the yard and you're like, I need a bucket for my water. Yeah. So you could just use your grappling hook, throw it over the side, and then fish it up. The bucket.
This is all the order of how I expect to get to this next place. And the last idea is a fortified location. This is like the end game. This is where I'm going to be to basically rebuild my life. So this is a place I want to be secure and also have access to water, access to farming. This is a place that I want to be secure, that I could sleep at night and not worry about zombies or other survivors. In my area, not far from where my parents live, there is a old prison that is no longer in use. And a lot of people have forgotten that it's actually an old prison. So very much like The Walking Dead, this would be a good place to use as a fortified final endgame location because it has a courtyard. So there is room for gardening and other outdoor activities. There are working jail cells. So you can literally lock yourself in a jail cell and sleep at night, not having to worry about zombies getting in and eating your brains while you're sleeping. And the back half of it butts up against a river. So you have water access and fishing. But yeah, so that's kind of like my steps on how to get through a zombie apocalypse place by place. So those are my ideas.
Lovely, Kate. That was fabulous.
Thank you.
I personally can't get over the fact that Alex can't get over the fact that you have a grappling hook.
I have a grappling hook.
I'm sorry, but it's just like, where is this like just a thing? Just like, is there a grappling hook community that I am not aware of? Is this a secret? Like, is this a thing that I'm just not?
Is there? And can I be a part of it too?
There might be. I'm not a part of it.
I really hope so, because I really hope it's a cult.
About 15 years ago, I had a really bad anxiety spell about zombies. And one of my purchases that I made was this damn grappling hook, which I still have today. I have yet to use it, but it's completely functional. And it's not like a grappling hook gun. It's not like Batman style. It's literally just like a piece of metal with 4 hooks.
So you got that grappling hook for the purpose of escaping zombies.
Yes. And that should be an episode. Like, what's in your bug out bag for zombie apocalypse?
I feel like that you have had some experience thinking about this topic.
Oh yeah. I've had...
How many years experience have you thought
I have
about this topic, Kate?
About 15 years.
Nice.
Like a trigger for anxiety, thinking about zombies, and this is how I cope with that anxiety, by preparing for the day that zombies will rise.
All right.
That's how I work.
All right, Kate. Thank you so much for sharing your ideas with us. Now it's time for me to tear them apart. For your first idea of, I'm not going to call them ideas. The steps in your idea, because I'm going to call it a single idea because it seems like it's a step-by-step procedure. But for your first step of sheltering in place initially, I'm going to put this in the ideas pile going towards bad, because for most people aren't going to have the time or thought process to prepare for this unless they think they see something coming. Obviously, we've all had to go through COVID-19 and the pandemic, and we've all realized that we've got to be a little bit more prepared for emergency situations, I think. We've all have to worry about snowstorms. We all see the people that go rush off to the grocery store to buy milk and eggs and bread. But I think the idea of being stuck in your house or being stuck somewhere for a longer period of time is more on people's mind. But for the long term, like we're talking years, most people aren't going to be doing that, or even months. Even months, it'd be something a little bit unusual. This would be something where you have to think ahead, plan ahead, be ready for it. And 2, and this replies to something you mentioned there, if you're like not on the first floor, but on the second or third floor, is there a rope slide going out of your apartment or the second floor?
I have a escape ladder, actually.
Nope, I said rope slide.
What's a rope slide?
So it's a rope going from the top, like something reachable, and then extending down to the ground, taut, so that you can take a hook or something so you can slide down the rope.
That's a zip line.
That's zip line over.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the word, so I just said that. So zip line. Is there a zip line involved?
I have an emergency escape ladder.
Okay, so no zip line is what you're saying.
No zip line. No.
I stick to my original piling of idea going towards bad. It does fit. It does make sense, but it'd be difficult, not be applicable to everyone's situation. Not everyone can prepare like that. For your second step in your idea, basically not staying anywhere, being mobile or nomadic for a bit. I'm going to say this is a good idea because you can't trust anybody. Trust is overrated. The only people that you can trust is yourself and the voices in your head. And no matter what they say, they're always usually right.
I don't know about that one.
That's what they think.
Mm-hmm. Never steered me wrong.
Or has it?
You're friends with us, so yeah. That's a big steering in the wrong direction.
Yeah, that's very true. Damn it! Well, then I guess it's going to go in the bad ideas pile then.
It sounds appropriate.
My thought was the good idea. You guys are the ones talking me out of it.
Yeah, I talked you out of a good idea.
I'm just saying.
It didn't take much.
You can't put this one on me. This isn't my fault.
It's your pilings. It is.
No, you're trying to talk me out of the good piling. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, initially staying solo isn't a bad thing. Staying quiet, just staying mobile, trying to find supplies while getting to a safe location if you can't. It's still not easy. It's harder to find secure locations, especially by yourself. Sleeping is very stressful because you have no one to watch your back. So it's not 100%, but early on, it's not necessarily a bad idea. Number 3, your heights/hammocks locations. I'm going to put this one straight in the bad ideas pile for a couple reasons. Number 1, the hammocks, depending on where you put it, don't always have a roof. So if it starts raining, snowing, you don't have as much shelter than a traditional like roofed shelter, cabin, cave, building, something along those lines, where you can still use a hammock, but you're talking about trees and electrical poles. That's number 1 strike. Number 2, hammocks are dangerous. I mean, how many times have anyone gotten into a hammock and it spins them out of it? Or if it's like the fabric ones, you get wrapped up like a burrito in it and you could suffocate. Or you could end up being a zombie burrito, basically, because you wrap yourself up in the middle of the night. Zombie can find you, go, nom, nom, dump some salsa on you, and it's going to be a bad time.
Because you can't get out of your burrito. Exactly. You'll be too wrapped up.
You'll be too wrapped up, and then he starts chomping on you, and it's over. It's over.
And he can chomp through the burrito. Like
exactly.
He's
Those things are not meant for durability. Unless Carhartt starts making a freaking hammock, it's not gonna happen.
Carhartt, if you make hammocks, this is could be a good idea.
Exactly.
We are not sponsored by Carhartt, but Carhartt, if you want to sponsor us, you can contact us at ideasalldaypodcast@gmail.com. And we would love to be guinea pigs for your Carhartt hammocks.
Carhartt hammocks all the way.
Or just give me some pants. Give me some pants, Carhartt. Give me some pants. And then the third issue I've got with this came up with the heights part, even when you referenced the roof. Now, initially, the roof was, to me, a bad idea. Not because it's like one point of entry, much more easy to defend, but you have no escape. And then the grappling hook came out of your ass. And of course, still a bad idea. And here's why. And this is a legitimate one. That's a one-use escape plan. Because unless you have the greatest whiplash thing of it to get that grappling hook off the top, it's one use. Unless you're carrying around multiple grappling hooks like somebody we know. Kate, man. And you're not going to be able to use more than one.
Well, the thing is, once I use the grappling hook, I know where the grappling hook is. So once the thread has dissolved and left, I can go back to retrieve said grappling hook.
Yes, you've gotten away, but then if you're one of your spots, the next spot to go is up on a roof. What are you going to do? You don't have a grappling hook.
And just to defend this idea a little more, this is like the step process to get to my end game location. So I'm not planning on staying on many roofs multiple times. This is just until I can get to that end game.
What's the end game?
So and that since then we'll get onto your fourth step of your fortified location, which I'm going to put in the ideas pile because, as you put it, again, fortified location is good, but your example of the old decrepit prison is probably going to have a lot of holes in it. You may have nobody there, but it's going to have a lot of holes. It's going to have a lot of things that have to be taken care of and have to be patched up. And that's going to take time and effort. Unless you have a group that supposedly before you're a nomadic, it's one of those things you're just not going to be able to do that by yourself. Yes, you'd have to find ways of keeping the place secure, especially initially. That's all I've got on that one. So that's why it's going to the ideas pile. If you can do that, then it becomes a great place to stay, even though it did not work out in The Walking Dead, just saying.
Yeah, no. They did the farm, the prison, the town.
Mhm.
There's a bunch of other places.
Zombie always got them.
Yep.
You can't find a forever home until the threat is gone.
Mm.
So,
Yep.
but thank you for your pilings, Alex.
You're welcome.
Ajax.
All right. So, for your first idea of sheltering in place, at first I was like, this is a good idea. But is it, like, do you really want to shelter in place? Because how long? Are you not going to go outside at all?
Not while it's crazy, I'm not going outside.
Like, how crazy they, but you're going to miss all of, like, the crazy encounters of people, you humans just running everywhere and, like, forming teams and then just, like,
killing each other. And
yeah, you're gonna
killing
miss all the
zombies
fun. So? I mean, I'll put it in the ideas pile. You might change your mind because you're like, I want some of that gutsy maneuvering of finding teams and possible love interests, and then just going into like hiding in different places. You might want that drama one day.
I'm a complete pussy. I would totally not want any of that. I'm very much a hide until this is all over, and then I can get the hell out.
Okay. I'll put in the ideas pile. For your second idea of keeping moving, I put this in the good ideas pile because it makes you harder to get. But the only thing that I was kind of curious is, like, how are you avoiding the other groups? Like, are you just like what if they see you and like it's a group of people and they're like, oh, who's that other person? Let's go talk to her. And you're like, how do you avoid them? Or like, what is your MO around other people?
I'm actively trying to avoid other groups of people. I don't want to appear as a threat. And if there's more of them than me, then they can try to just steal my shit. Because I'm going to be having some shit. Once they steal my grappling hook, they're going to be like, whoa, that person probably has a lot of good shit on her. So let's jump that bitch and take all of her stuff.
I can just see you like walking up to a group of people with your grappling hook in the hand and just like, it's like pounding
Charlie
it, like, just like, hey,
just
sup guys? We just swing.
Sup guys?
I personally think that is the best idea ever. And I would invite you into my group if I saw you walking up swinging your grappling hook. I'd be like, come on in.
That's how I'll approach the farm when I come.
Yeah, I feel like, and you have to do like the little jig as you're walking up too.
You guys will be like, wait, there's a survivor. Oh, it's Kate. She's spinning her grappling hook.
She's spinning her grappling hook. Yep, we all know who Kate is. So I feel like this is a good idea. I'm putting this in the good ideas pile. You should always be just walking down the street spinning your grappling hook. All right, so yeah, keeping on moving. Good idea. 3, utilizing heights. Hammock camping. Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy the idea of having a tougher fabric
hammock. Yeah.
Hammock. I feel like that's a good idea. We'll put that in the good ideas pile there. And I feel like it's a good idea if you had that while you were camping in your high places. So I put utilize heights as a good idea. And I mean, now that the grappling hook, you're just walking around swinging your grappling hook. Now this is always a good idea. So it's a good ideas pile for number 3. And number 4, fortify location. I'm going to put this in the ideas pile because is any place really fortified?
I mean, you can do stuff to help fortify it. And if you have people you can trust, you can like set up like shifts to watch. But if there's more zombies than you, like how safe can you really be until the threat's done with? So.
All right. Well, I'll put in the ideas pile.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your pilings.
Thanks.
Alex, why don't you discuss your ideas for this week's topic?
Sure. I guess I'll go next. I'll show you guys how it's done. Well, for my first idea, it's a high-risk one, but it could pay out if you can make it work. And that's if you can find a way to secure a grocery store. Difficult because it's going to be a high-traffic area, but if you could find a way, if it's a small or like a medium-sized grocery store, not a lot of people around, you might be lucky enough to secure it and keep people from coming in. So you can have all the food and figure out a way to make it work. Not easy. It would be difficult, but if you can get it to happen, it would be amazing. You could last for years in one spot if you know what you're doing. A lot of things last a long time. You've got a lot of resources there. Again, no electricity, probably very little or no running water, but there's things you can do around that.
You need organization beforehand, so you gotta act fast.
Yes, but you have supplies, something that a lot of people don't always have. And you have a large area that, it would have a few exits and entrances, but it could be securable. But it's not going to be easy. It could be better with a group of people, not just by yourself, but it's doable. It's just not going to be easy. Number 2, going back to a little bit of what Kate said before about, being on the move a lot. One way you could do that, but still have some creature comforts, is to live in an RV. Have a drivable RV that, as long as you can find sources of gas, you would have a bed, you would have roof over your head, mobility, and potentially a working toilet. As long as you can keep it stocked up with water and you keep things running, it would be good. And not to mention, eventually, if it does break down, it's still a house that's, hopefully in a secure spot. Ultimately, it's a mobile house safe. And it usually still has electricity as long as you keep the battery running. For my third idea, it's to live in a cemetery. If we're talking non-supernatural zombies, we're talking virus or weird government or conspiracy nonsense. The dead ain't rising from their graves, but they're going to be roaming around. Now, the few advantages you get with a cemetery, one, typically they're pretty large open areas with usually either strong stone structures or sometimes even a house for the caretaker that may live nearby if you're going to use that. A lot of land, usually untouched unless there's people there, but some of the outskirts usually would be untouched because they're for future sites, essentially. Not to mention, if you do have people trying to approach you and they're hostile, you do have a lot of basically coverage in case things get a little touchy. If you do have anything like zombies coming up, you will see them coming because it's a big open area. So if you need to escape, it's a large field 9 times 10. You can find a way out of there. Or if you think you can take care of them, you could probably do it from a distance. Now, for my fourth idea, move to Iceland. It's an island in the middle of the Atlantic, usually mountainous, not a huge amount of people there. And a lot of times with these kind of places, with island nations, they don't always get these nasty, nasty viruses, especially if they lock down pretty early. And if you find a way to sneak in, you might be able to survive pretty well and hopefully not even be exposed to the virus or whatever's causing it. And last but certainly not least, you could always join a cult, which usually will have a compound of some description, already fortified because they're expecting someone to come rush into it. Yes, you may have to compromise on some of your beliefs, maybe start worshiping a grappling hook or something. I don't know, like some weird stuff. But think of this. If anyone read the news about old Jared Leto and his not a cult, they had no idea the pandemic was going on while he was on his little island.
Was it called Not a Cult? Because that's a great name for it.
It's not a cult. It's a fan club.
Listen, this isn't a cult, but we're a cult.
Yeah.
Cult.
Yeah. This is totally not a cult, but you can call me the prophet.
My favorite kind of cults. I love them.
We're not a cult.
Cults that aren't cults, but are cults, or your favorite kinds of cults.
Such good cults.
Until they get the tax-free status, they're not a cult or religion yet. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get that tax-free status.
That's a good joke. That's a good goal.
But a well-established cult usually already is self-sustaining, secure, probably have weapons. It seems like a pretty easy gig. You might, have to do some weird stuff from time to time. But hey, it's the apocalypse. Might as well roll with the punches. And those are my ideas.
Sweet.
Thanks, Alex. Ajax, why don't you run down your pilings of Alex's ideas?
Okay, so for Alex, your first idea of securing a grocery store. Of course, I put this in the good idea pile because that's got a lot of supplies for a while, and I feel like you should also be kind to your grocery store workers because you can keep them they can be a part of your grocery store crew, and then they also know where everything is, and they can help you organize super fast. So you can have them on your side so you can work together to divvy out the supplies, because there's going to be so many perishables. So I feel like that will help mouths to feed, more distribution units, so you have more possible a systematic process if organized correctly. This would take a lot of organization though. Like this is not just I'm gonna use this idea and get it without a game plan. You need a freaking game plan well before you utilize this idea. So my good idea status of this pile is it could be good or it could be really, really, really bad. Okay, so I'm gonna put in the good idea pile. All right, live in an RV. Live in La Vida RV is your idea number 2. And I think that is also a good idea because you're on the move, you're keeping on moving, you're not settling in one spot, keeping that mentality, which is very good, especially when there's zombies on the loose. And then of all status. And I feel like you can get pretty good, decent power using solar for a while, but you just have to make sure that it's got good sun coverage. The solar can charge a lot of stuff and help you cook food. So I feel like that's a good idea. And also, if you want, you can boondock in national parks. You can stay in a place for quite a few days, and then you can move. So it's like you can visit for a while and feel semi-safe. Idea number 3, living in a cemetery. Yes, I find this is also a good idea. And I would love to make a fort of dead people. That's what I would call it. Because you got to fortify the sides of the cemetery, because the zombies are not hanging out in there. People are not hanging out in the cemetery. And those have been way dead. Those people have been dead for before the zombie apocalypse. So there's not nobody there. Plus, if you have any badass fight scenes with guns and shootouts, you duck behind gravestones.
Exactly.
That's badass. So that's automatic good ideas pile. Moving to Iceland, I feel like that's a good idea because it's an island. We have always water access. Iceland is nice, or was Greenland nice? I can't remember. I keep on thinking about the Mighty Ducks movie where
Greenland has ice and Iceland is green. That's the quote of Mighty Ducks.
So by that saying alone, this means that's a good idea because it's greener, so you have more vegetation to feed off of.
Exactly.
If you become an herbivore. And then your idea number 5 of joining a cult is always it's a good idea. Throw in that tax-free status, self-sustaining nature. Hey, I don't know how I'm like the perfect cult follower one day. I'm very interested in cults.
And then me and Alex will have to deprogram her once you have her in your cult and have changed her and such.
And whatnot.
Deprogram, reprogram, tomato. And that was all my pilings for you.
Thanks so much, Ajax.
I know. Apparently I like all your ideas this week. I am a big
great
fan.
ideas.
I'm a big fan of all of these ideas.
Because they're great ideas, exactly.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Ajax, because it's my time for pilings.
No. I think that's all we got time for. Thanks everyone for listening.
And I went a different way.
Oh, I'm not surprised. That's why this is going to be awesome.
Let me start off with idea number 1, grocery store. This is immediately going in the bad ideas pile. This is because when shit hits the fan, where do people go first?
Home Depot.
Grocery stores. They go to Home Depots. They go to Walmarts. They go
Radio
to
Shack.
gun stores. They go to these places. You're not going to be able to just walk in and take a grocery store. It would have to be some sort of planned coordinated attack, which, do you have a plan of coordinated attack right now, Alex?
I always do.
Do you have a following of people who you can coordinate with and take over a grocery store? Grocery stores have doors. They have windows. Usually,
wait. No one told me they have doors.
Lots of windows. It's a hard place to secure. So that's why it's going into the bad ideas pile.
So
RV Idea number 2. This is going in the bad ideas pile. This is going right in the bad ideas pile because you know what happens when shit hits the fan? People go on the roads. People panic. There's traffic. There is gridlock. Also, zombies. They're zombies. Zombies are on the ground. You're on the ground. Easy way to get attacked. Survivors. Survivors are on the ground. You're on the ground. There's an RV. Bad idea.
You just lock the door. You lock the door.
No.
They don't get in if the door is locked.
You're going to have someone like me with a grappling hook. Whipping it
Climbing
out.
on top of your van.
Pulling your door off with my magical grappling hook.
All I can imagine is you throw your grappling hook. If it does catch in the door, and then immediately I'm speeding off and you're going, shit.
Just fine. I'll just hang there until you run out of gas, and then I take all of your resources.
Oh, okay.
Wait, how long did you have
the amount of road rash you would have been ground down and in so much pain.
This might be zombie Kate that's holding on, who doesn't care about road rash.
She's prepared for road rash. You don't know prepared for zombie.
You're fast food, and I'm getting it.
At least she's more interesting.
Bad idea. Bad idea. Cemetery. Idea number 3. Bad idea. Bad idea. It is open ground. 360.
Yeah.
There's usually just a fence that kind of goes around the cemetery. Nope. If you're lucky, you're a sitting duck. You're a sitting duck waiting for zombies to come and pick you off.
Nah.
There's no way. That's like the worst place to be, is in like an open field during a zombie apocalypse. Bad.
360 means more.
Bad idea.
No, it means more.
You can
room
see
to get
them
away.
coming.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. If you're surrounded, you're screwed. There's no higher ground. There's nothing. You're screwed.
No, there's plenty of high ground.
Bad idea.
What if it was a cemetery on a hill?
Still a bad idea. A hill. Zombies can climb hills. I don't know if zombies can climb trees. I don't know if it's World War Z type of zombies. If it is, we're all screwed. There's really no saving us unless if you're in a bunker.
Yeah, we're done for World War Z.
But yeah, bad idea. Move to Iceland. This is an idea. If you're already in Iceland when the zombie apocalypse happens, great. You're kind of lucky. If I'm where I am today and tomorrow there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to catch a flight to Iceland. So it's an idea. Number 5, join a cult. I'm going to tell you something right now. This is an idea leaning towards good.
Yes!
Because there is kind of a cult that this would work with. And they're called preppers. People who are exceedingly prepped for all these natural disasters. They have a network together. It's very cultish, except there's not like a superior leader and there's no religious overtones.
How do they determine a hierarchy, though?
Exactly.
It's usually
how do we get into this? Is it like best bunker?
Well, it's like who has the land that they're going to be surviving on. That person's usually the de facto leader. Whereas everybody else is just bringing stuff to the table.
I want to know who. I'm only following the person with the biggest and most luxurious beard.
That's fine. You can do that. There's preppers who have very nice beards.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ever have the chance, listeners, to watch the anime High School of the Dead, this kind of comes up. Funny enough, a zombie apocalypse occurs and follows these high school students, and one of the high school teacher becomes this de facto cult leader. And he gets all these followers. And it's kind of like creepy how it all works out. So I can totally see this actually happening during a zombie apocalypse. But if you're going to be in a cult before the zombie apocalypse, I would choose the preppers because that's more geared towards surviving. If you're just joining a cult because you're afraid of a zombie apocalypse and you join some weird religious cult, that's probably not good for you health, mental wise. With the preppers, at least you have your individualness. You have your own day-to-day life that you go through. You have your own friends, you have your own family, but then when shit hits the fan, you have this team of people that you can count on. Yes, Ajax.
Okay, so when if my cult ever comes to me, I want them to ask me, would you like to join our cult? And not sugarcoat it with like any specific thing. Like, I don't want a specific cult coming at me. I just want them to say, hey, we're a cult.
A lot of cults
Come join us.
don't want to be labeled as a cult because there's a negative connotation, as there should be, because cults are genuinely not a good thing, Ajax. So you would rarely have someone come up to you and say, hey, do you want to be a part of my cult? Instead,
Yes.
they'll say, hey, do you want to take a personality test? And hey, do you want an e-reading? Or,
no, I don't want
"Hey,"
those. I just want the cult. That's all
or
I want.
hey,
That's-
would
I
you
want
like
the cool robe.
would you like to go
I'll take
into
that.
this self-help class for free about finding out more about yourself?
Oh, yes.
That's how cults typically get you. Hey, you're an alcoholic. We have this AA meeting, but also afterwards we have this alternative approach to alcoholism.
And cookies.
And cookies. They usually have cookies.
That's
Ooh,
why I
I'm
would
in.
go.
I'm in. I want cookies.
That's
So
why I would go to that one.
join a cult leaning towards good ideas if the cult is preppers. If it's
And
any other cult, I'm going to say no.
okay, so for my first idea for places to go when the zombie apocalypse comes is going on a boat and heading to an island. So when you're on a boat, there's very little chance that the zombies are actively swimming. And if you're going with the currents and the waves, then they're not very directed in theory, unless they're super swimmer zombies, which that's always a possibility. This is for non-super swimmer zombie scenario situation here. Just going on a boat, having some supplies, having your fishing supplies, having your hunting supplies, and, heading over to an island. Surrounded by water. You can pretty much see 360 degrees away around your island, so you can look out for any floatable zombies. So that's my first idea, is going on a boat and going to an island. So for my second idea is going to a higher place, whether it be the mountains, which I don't think I've ever seen zombies rock climbing up like a hillside of the face. A lot of times they're missing arms and not really, I don't think they rock climb. Or within the treetops. I'm thinking in the Brazilian trees where you can go on those ladders and just run amongst the treetops. And you're pretty high up. Or if you're in a Swiss Family Robinson house, because those are always great. Yeah. So those are being in a higher place. Being in a more remote place is my third idea. Hence, some places I was thinking are the Adirondacks, because there are some places up in the Adirondacks where there are very few places and people in between. And it might be very rare that you come across a zombie if you're well stocked. Also, or just less populated states. In general, those are wide places where you might not find a lot of zombies coming across. There might be less change from human to zombie out there. Some other zombie places. Oh, so for my last one was a fun house, because I feel like you can learn a lot about zombies if you have zombies in the fun house. It might be kind of humorous if you saw them, you have zombies stuck in the wall of mirrors, and you can actually test whether or not you can observe whether or not you see a zombie noticing if it's got a fat head, or if it's got I don't know. I feel like a fun house might be a really cool place where you can psychologically analyze a zombie if there is any psychoanalysis possibilities. Also, you can learn about, can they balance really well, or if they don't balance really well, that might be interesting just to see them fall off some sort of fun house device. Anyway, I think a fun house will be interesting place to go during a zombie apocalypse. Those are my ideas.
Thank you, Ajax, for your ideas. Let me do my pilings. Boat, then to an island. I'm going to put this in the good ideas. The reason it's in the good ideas is that you didn't just say you were going on a boat, but you're going somewhere in the boat. If you were just going to be stuck at sea, then I would say this is a bad idea. But my idea with the zombies is they can't swim and they may float, but if you can keep them away from your boat, then you should be all right. And then if you're on a remote island that's less likely to have zombies, that seems like a good idea. Number 2, higher places. Once again, put this in the good ideas pile. I like the idea of like treetops and the Swiss Family Robinson type of housing. Mountains, if it was like all sheer cliffs around, then yes. But if it's just like a hill to go up, then I feel like zombies could do that. Being remote. I'm going to put this in the ideas pile. Problem with being remote is if the zombie apocalypse were to happen today and you're not in a remote area already, getting to that remote area is going to be difficult. And I feel like other people will try to have that same idea. So if you're on the West Coast or on the East Coast, everybody's going to try to go in the middle because that's where the least populated states are. So it's an idea. Being around less people means being around less zombies. It's in the ideas pile, leaning towards good.
Woo-hoo.
Your last idea, funhouse. This is going in the bad ideas pile because it's bad enough that you're in funhouse, but now you have to navigate with zombies in the funhouse, and it just seems like I'm not a big funhouse fan to begin with. But to add then zombies in the mix, then yeah, no. And it's less room for me to use my grappling hook. So, bad idea. But those were my pilings.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Ajax, guess it's my turn.
Your turn.
All right, so for your first idea, to take a boat to an island. I'm going to put this in the good ideas pile because I like boats. Who doesn't like boats? People get on boats, they're like boats, and there's like floating, and there's buoyancy, and there's boats. And then you get an island, so you get your own private island. Who doesn't love our own private? I mean, that's what people strive for in the real world without a zombie apocalypse. Now you're just doing it anyways.
Yeah, you're just commanding your own island.
Exactly.
It's dreams come true.
Exactly. Like you got to make dreams a reality, and that's what you're doing. So I can't help but put this in the good ideas pile.
Yes.
And then for your second idea of going to a higher elevation, I guess my first question really would be, is there a grappling hook involved?
Ooh, depends on who's coming.
True. But I'm just saying in general, is there a grappling hook involved?
Well, if there is an opportunity to saunter down the street with a grappling hook, then there is always a grappling hook involved in this.
Oh, and you had such a good running happening. So now it's going to have to go ideas going towards bad because grappling hooks. I mean, come on.
What if Alan had a grappling hook?
Why are you so
What if
upset
Alan
about
had a grappling hook
hooks?
in his back pocket? It was a
What
part of his
is
outfit.
wrong
If
with
Alan was
grappling hooks?
Nothing's wrong with grappling hooks. You can have however many grappling hooks your little heart desires. You could do it. You
It's
could be.
one. That's how many my heart desires.
Yeah.
One grappling hook, which I have, and treasure.
Cape Man. All right. So, but still, I'm still putting this idea as going towards bad more just because mountains are, although not impossible to live in, it's very difficult. Yes, it's a little bit safer, but it's still difficult to find food, find resources. Treetops, even more so. And I'm not talking Swiss Family Robinson. I'm thinking of like living at the top of the great giant redwoods. Because I know people
if you go
to
higher, go home.
Exactly, but it's also extremely hard to live up there. Unless you have an easy way to get up and down.
Or if you eat
Like
squirrels.
grappling hooks?
Not grappling hooks, like, like a zip line.
Yeah.
You mean a rope slide?
Yeah,
Yes,
let's
a
do
rope
that.
slide.
A rope
Even
slide.
better. Even better.
Perfect. This is becoming amazing.
I love it. It's moving its way up now that there's zip lines and rope slides involved. All right, on to your third idea. Living in remote places, I would actually say good idea. Not only are you away from people, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're in an obscure, weird spot. It's just there's not a lot of people around, which means less zombies. And if people are remote already, you're probably, with zombie apocalypse, a lot of people are dying. They can also find their own damn remote places to go if they want to. They don't have to bother you. You've got things to grapple and whatnot.
Yep.
You've got.
I've got a grappling hook. I've got
a grappling hook.
Things to do.
I have
gotta
to get
practice.
skilled with grappling.
Exactly. probably weren't practicing before the
Ooh,
zombie
I can do
apocalypse.
like one of those where I'm learning the grappling hook reels where you like really suck to begin with and you like end up impaling yourself
montage.
montage. And then you end up impaling yourself several times and then becoming awesome, but like to 80s music.
Mm-hmm. And using rope slides.
Of course.
Simultaneously. Just
Mhm.
Together again with the grappling hook,
grappling
swinging it.
to another rope slide to then slide down that rope slide.
That would be amazing.
Grappling hook.
That would be amazing.
Look how versatile grappling hooks are.
I know it's terrible because it's really, you can only use it once and then it just falls apart anyways.
You know a lot about grappling hooks.
Yeah,
it
for
sounds like
someone
you
who
have
doesn't
some.
have for someone who doesn't have a grappling hook, you really have some strong opinions.
Yeah, you know they fall
Yes.
apart really fast.
Yes, exactly. You don't need to know about what
You
I
know
do
now.
about what I do at night. No.
This is why we can't have nice things.
On to your fourth idea, fun house. I mean, it's a house full of fun, but it's never fun.
Yes,
You know,
yes, exactly. I can't believe Alex and I are agreeing.
I'm like, it pains me because it's in the name of being fun and it's a house, and those are both wonderful things. But all it is just a maze of mirrors and spinning tunnels and teenagers looking through cameras to make and laughing at you. And then children are crying. There's always at least one. And then there's a clown that pops out of somewhere. And you know, if you're in a fun house, there's going to be at least one clown zombie. It is the law of averages. It just has to happen.
Yeah.
So
it's going to get all the best reactions from people coming in.
Yeah, but it's called, the reaction is, I'm a zombie, I'm going to eat you.
I'm marketing my zombies. This is going to be a sideshow.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this a side hustle. Come see my zombie fun house.
Yeah, this is like post-zombie apocalypse where it's kind of under control. So unfortunately, I have to put this in the bad ideas pile. I'm so sorry, but I have to do it. I'm not sorry. I regret nothing.
Any sorry ever.
I regret nothing. It deserves to go in the hole we've dug for it and burning it.
I'm cutting it. I'm cutting it off.
I mean, you can burn it as much as you want. You can burn it. It still lives within my heart.
No, don't set shit on fire near zombies. Don't get me started on that.
Flaming zombies coming at you.
No.
Flaming clown zombies.
Ooh.
No. Keep fire away from zombies.
Because you'll like it too much.
No, I like fire.
Because
I know
zombies. But putting the two together is not a good idea.
Because, and I know this is why. Because when they start going on fire, they start roasting, and when they get roasted, they smell delicious. And then you start going, maybe I'm a little peckish. Maybe I'll take a little bite and and then all of a sudden you're craving it, and then all of a sudden the zombies are running from you, thinking, "Oh my God, this guy's gonna eat us!" And you just run after him with a flamethrower or like a hairspray and
a fork.
And a fork, exactly, and like a napkin around your neck.
Yeah.
No, not a
lobster
bib.
cracker.
Yeah.
All bad ideas.
Awesome. It's only a bad idea because it's the truth.
No. Thank you, Ajax, for your ideas. Alex, thank you for your
Thank you for your pilings.
Hey, you're very welcome.
But we should probably thank our listeners.
Oh, I thank you. Thank you for lending your ear holes to us.
Thank you so much, listeners, for taking the time to listen to us and spend time with us.
You can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever else you can find podcasts. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Facebook. We also have an Instagram. So if you have any viewer drawings, art inspired by our episodes, please Insta us at Ideas All Day Podcast. If you want to become a special guest, or if you have any ideas for our podcast, you can send us a message at ideasalldaydaypodcast@gmail.com. But thank you for listening. Hopefully hopefully you'll listen next week as we continue our journey into the zombie apocalypse. But yeah, thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Brains.
It was beautiful.